Every spring it seems like we talk about having an abnormal spring, and here in Oklahoma again it's no different. Our onions were actually starting to bloom already, and we noticed this last week. Now, being in a public garden situation, sometimes the public might take the liberties of doing a little pruning for you, and in this case they actually have taken off all of our flower buds. But I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about what to do in that situation in case your onions are blooming as well. Onions are biennials, so typically they won't be blooming this first year. They need 2 seasons to complete that life cycle. Now, usually the reason why they do start blooming is because of the weather. So if you remember, we had some really warm days early on in the spring, and then it's been more recently followed by some cold, rainy days. This has actually kind of mimicked winter and tricked our plants into thinking they're in their second season, and so they've started blooming. You can see there's one that got left here. And so at this point, we've got a flower here, and we need to harvest these plants for 2 reasons. This flower stem is actually going to go down into the onion and divide our bulb. You can see here, this was the flower stem, and how large it is. It's really quite thick. You can see how thick it is and dense. Now, that's actually splitting our bulb, and we're after the bulb, not the flower. So you can see how it's deteriorated the quality of that bulb. So as soon as we see any flowers, we want to harvest this. The other thing is that when plants start to flower, they take energy out of the bulb. So again, that's going to reduce the quality of our bulb. So we've got pretty good sized bulbs here. We're going to go ahead and harvest these. And when you're harvesting, you just kind of want to get a trowel or something and get underneath there. Not to disturb the bulb, but try to give it a good tug. We're just going to shake that soil off. You don't want to wash these or anything at the time you're harvesting. I'm just going to shake them off like that and go ahead and put them on a tray. I love using these black web trays that you get plants in and stuff because they allow for good airflow. You want to harvest these and put them on something that allows for good airflow and place them in a location that's shady, not in direct bright light, but a shady location that has little humidity. If you know we're going to get rain or you get dew in that morning, you might want to bring those in so that they do dry out. This will continue to dry for a couple of days to a week, and when they do, we'll go ahead and trim off this top part and then just store those onions. You can trim the roots too. Store those onions in a mesh bag. Now, we do want to make sure to use any of those onions that had flowers as soon as possible. It's best to use them fresh or as soon as possible. Also, sweet onions tend to not store as well as your more pungent onions. So again, use your sweet onions before your strong onions. Now, over here on garlic, again, we had some flowers that have been trimmed again by the public or someone. And with onions, it's a little bit different because onions create cloves around that stem. So we're not so worried about that flower stalk dividing our bulb. So in this situation, all we would do is remove that flower. It's been done for us. At this point, we will start to wait, and you can see the plants are starting to turn yellow. The plant's going through its natural senescence and dying back. After it's died about halfway, we're then going to harvest them and dry them out the same way we've done the onions.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.